Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I have several things happening here. I have this left side, which is a standard 3x8. I've already decided I want this card, but I'm almost certain that I have some kind of it's a stamp set that has historical markers, something, and I know it says like church or cathedral in it. I want to stamp that here, so I will have to do that. And then I have this one photo with a purple tint to it, so I want to put that over here. And then I have this, and originally I thought I wanted to use this whole thing as is. Now I think I might actually cut this in half and only use one section here. And I think I like that better because I printed these all 3x4. Had I wanted to use all this, it would have been smarter to print 4x6 because then I could cut them and fill this, do 2 4x4s or something. But I did not do that, so I'm trying to work with what I have without having to reprint if possible. So I have 5 photos though, so I don't know that that's entirely going to work, but this one is small enough where I could certainly fit this stained glass window in one pocket, so that's totally fine. This one I could probably get it down to 2 pockets. Same here, I'd have to really trim it. It'd be tight, but I think I could do it. Not sure about this one. I like what's here, but not necessarily here. This is kind of boring, so not sure about that. This one, again, I think I could get it down to 2 by just having it 2 inches wide. So I think that's going to be my goal. Now, it could very well happen that I do this, put it together, and then I hate it. And in which case, then I start over. I can reprint at home. I just didn't want to, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so I have the first photo here, and I hope I don't hate this, I think this is what I'm going to do. So I have to get this to 2 inches. I had already looked at that to see where I might want that to be. So there we go. So that's my 2. That's not bad. That's not bad, actually. So then, here's the real trick, though. Because this is 4 inches long, I have to go to 2. So when I cut it, it's going to go right in the middle of those, which is fine. If I'm going to do pockets, that's what that's going to take. So let's see. So I don't know that I'm going to put it right at the top, but this is where they would sit if I were doing that. I don't want to cut this part off till I'm absolutely sure. This is what I want to do. So there's that. Now, if I really want these to match and have stained glass on all of this, then I would put this one down here and I would find something that goes in there. So here's another one that I would have to go 2 inches. Ooh, can I keep that lamp there? That might be kind of fun. Oh, I can get both of them in if I'm really careful. If I go like that, 2 inches is going to run right here. I think I'm going to do it. Pretty straight. There we go. Okay, so there I have that. And then I just have to cut this down to make sure that I can get that in for 2 inches the other way. Oh yeah, I can totally do that. There's the other one I cut, and I love this because it still left this little arch here, plus a second ring that you can see most of, and I got to keep both of the lights. I think that helps bring in a little bit of sparkle along with the window, so I think that helps. So right now, if I were to cut this, that works out perfectly. So that's good. We're going to put those over here for now. Then I have to figure out how to do the others in that space, and I kind of have more than I need here. So I'm not sure about that. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to abandon this one maybe, although I like the stars that they have on there. Or maybe this one I'll have to cut down just to be 2. I'm not totally sure, but I'm going to mess around with it and see what I can do. Okay, so I cut this one down to 2 inches one way, but I was trying to figure out, could I use this whole thing? Not really, because if I cut this right in the middle, it cuts off right here. It would look really strange. So I think what I'm going to do is actually just cut off this whole part. So this is going to end up being a single 2x2 pocket. Right there. It's going to go right between those 2 elements. And then I'm going to have to cut off the top a little bit. Oh, but it's right to the peak of that archway. That actually works out well. So that can go in any one of these pockets. I'm not saying this is where it's going to end up, but I could put it in any one of those. So I still have 3 spaces to work with. And I'll have to figure out now what to do between these two. So I have cut all the photos now. So I have these 2 as singles. And then this one is the same photo, it's just cut in half because I wanted both parts. So it will actually fill up the entire length of the page protector, but that's totally fine. And then, because I knew I liked that, I decided cut the page protector. So now I'm down to a 2x8, and I actually used my trimmer to cut this. I don't generally cut these by hand because they're fairly thin. A blade will go through there nicely. So here's the part I'm going to throw away. I don't need that anymore. And here's what I'm left with. And this does leave me room to do a phrase label or something with what I want on that side. And then I still have an empty pocket that I have to fill on the left side. I did decide to mix up the photo placement a little bit because with this configuration, all that bright color is up top. So I want the brighter color that matches on the bottom. So that's going to be the lowest pocket. And then on the top, I have the very neutral one, which is fine. And then in the middle, I will have those, which is kind of a mix. You get both, which is nice. I don't want to put them in the pocket yet because I probably will do something with this. So I don't want to do that quite yet. But then on the other side, and originally I thought I would put the stained glass here. Nope, I decided to do it the opposite way. So on this one, I can stick to what I had before. Do I like that at the top or bottom? No, I like the bigger one up top. So these 2 will go here, this will go here. And then I still have to figure out what to do with the empty pocket. So I think I forgot to mention the name of the church. It's the Church of the Heavenly Rest. It's on the Upper East Side. So I went to the new gallery, and then in that same area is the Church of Heavenly Rest. So I thought, okay, I can take 15, 20 minutes to walk in there, which I did. I actually had another church on my list too, but even though it said online it was open, it was not. I tried the doors, couldn't get in, so I was like, fine, I'll just walk over and do this one. So I did that, and that was lovely, and I certainly want to keep that. And then I remembered I had bought these because so much of what I see when I travel is churches. I saw them in Baltimore, in New York, in Providence. I mean, all over. It tends to be, at least one every list, but usually more. So I'm going to pick one of these. They're kind of big, some of them. And originally I thought maybe silver because it goes with the purple better, but I've got this gold tone in the lamps over here. So I think I'm going to pick a gold one. So, wow, most of these they're probably going to go end to end just to fit the pocket. Yeah, I think all of these might work actually. So I will look at those, figure out which gold one I like the best. And then I still have to figure out a background. I don't really want this lavender or periwinkle because it's right next to this. So maybe a brown because it's got brown here, or maybe a stone color, something maybe a little bit more neutral, but yet still like light enough that this will pop. I forgot. It's going to sit like this, not like this. So I can use whatever I want on this side. It doesn't really matter because the next thing that I will have in there is completely unrelated. So I can do whatever I want here. So I think I might actually find a lighter blue because when you look at that stained glass, look at all that blue that's in there. I just feel like between all of this, the fanciness and the ornate stuff, that maybe blue is a good background. I have 2 choices here. And originally I thought blue, like I mentioned, and I think that might be fine. It's closer in this color than it is in this. But then I found this piece. This was a piece of travel paper. This is the foiled side. Like all these arrival numbers and stuff. But I really like this side. It's a kind of a weird pattern, but I think once I put one of these stickers over it, it won't matter because the eye really will be drawn to the sticker. But I like the color. It's very subtle, very light, and I think it might work well. I have cut down my square here for the pocket, and I'm having a hard time deciding between 2 of the different crosses. I really like this one. It is just so funky and ornate. I just really I really dig it. But I also like this one. I feel like that's more a little bit more reserved, maybe, but still has a nice pattern. So I'm having a hard time. Do I want this one or this one? Can't decide, but I'll be back in a minute and then we'll find out. Ta-da! I decided to go with this one. I just really loved all the swirls, if I'm honest. I just really liked it, so I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna put that in here if I can. It's a little tough when we're going from the back. There we go. All right. So that's the back side, and I don't know that I'll do anything. There is some space here, but I kind of like that it's a nice place for the eye to rest between how busy that is and how busy this is. So I might leave that alone. But now on this side, I still have to figure out, am I gonna do something with these? And then I also still have to find out, am I gonna stamp on this? All right, so this is the stamps that I pulled, and it isn't quite how I remembered it. You have to mark off which one you want. Visiting a historical, and then you mark off. I don't want that whole thing by any means. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a marker and only stamp the part that says church, and then I can check it off if I want to, or I could just leave that blank, but I will put it somewhere here. Or I could do visiting historical, don't do the colon, and then put church. I have options, but I'll have to use a marker in order to do it. So I did my stamping over here. It's not perfect. I did catch a little bit of an edge there, but for the most part it's fine. And then I also have a stamp that says observe, and I decided for me that's great because I'm not a person of faith, and so I'm just observing the art and the history there, but it also works for people who look at it who do observe a religious lifestyle. So there you go. And then because there are these stars here, I thought maybe I could use one of these. I do have a mid-sized one here, but then I do have a smaller. So I'm gonna try this one and just see, like, is that too big? It's kind of big. I'll try the smaller one too. I definitely liked the smaller one better, so I went with that. So here's the left side with the star on there. Here's the right side, all done. And then here is the back side of it. I love all three of these. And here's another one done for New York. Thanks for watching.